There are many things that are happening in Africa today. There's much sorrow in Africa today. There's this just apparent, very clear apathy to the struggles of the African from other nations compared to what they would do for nations of similar race. We can tell from what's happening in Ukraine, and we can tell, for example, when there was a hurricane and an earthquake in Haiti, how the response was very lackluster. In fact, to a great extent, there was no response at all. When hundreds of people died and hundreds were displaced. And now we come to this horrendous, this heinous act that happened in Morocco. This somber act, this disregard of Africans as a people. There are many things that have happened in many nations, in China, in America, in Britain, in Australia, and a number of other nations where the African person has been disrespected, even in Africa itself. Disrespected, condescended. But the funny thing is that the leadership that we have not shown any teeth, have not shown any power. You know, we had Robert Mugabe at this time, in the time of his life, that he would come to the United Nations very fluent, very powerful speech, very gifted speech, very arrogant, and very poignant. He knew what he was talking about. But when you come down to look at it in detail, from a functional operative action point of view, there's nothing that Africans could do or did. There's nothing that these African leaders have done except issuing some statements and still think that the help for these situations will come from these nations that are treating us, have treated us, still treat us as 80% humans, as other states, other countries used to say. So what do you do? The youth of Africa, what do you do? You know, I've done a number of these videos, a number of them. And why do I do them? I do them for the youth. We failed, our generation, the fathers, the parents of these children that are 21, 40 years old. They've got nothing. We failed to get back Africa. We failed to enter the business arena. We failed to empower our people through skills, education, better health, and better housing. We failed. And our children, we have left their estate in the hands of foreign nations. And today, this very leadership that we're talking about is still parceling gold concessions of that which is left from millions of acres of minerals that are traded on the stock exchange of other countries, Britain, for example. They are parceling business zones, industrial zones, to other nations. Now, this publication is for the youth of Africa. And I'm not only talking because I'm talking, I am talking applied action We have a manual, the Right Acts, the African Master Reset, a Third World Modernization Bible. And we have a plan, the Rapid Africa Plan. But I want to talk about the idea that the youth, what can you do right now? You are watching this, you are seeing this. Obviously, you are helpless because you don't have the tools to do it. And you don't have the tools to do it out of a level of ignorance of what to do. The ignorance that you have the sovereign right above any constitution to create your own paradigm, to insert your own paradigm. In other words, to initiate your own program to advance your nation, your own program to create wealth for industrialization of Africa, to uplift the rest of the people from the depth of destitution that our people are. The science says that in order for you to have the next process, the next paradigm, the old paradigm has to be disrupted by the new one. How do you do it? You do it by engaging what people call a blue ocean strategy. Number one, you do it by inserting or your own paradigm. How do you do that? You create a new reality that makes the old obsolete. Unless the youth, you follow that science and have your own leadership emerge, or have somebody emerge that can lead you into the future, that can create the place, the wealth, and the estate for your own children and grandchildren, which we have failed to do, unless you wake up and realize that you have the sovereign authority to nullify and cancel any constitution. When a constitution is created and people are put in place and they fail to fulfill the intent of that constitution, which is to create an environment where people, the society, as individuals can go out, do business, create business, innovate, create. And those that work, go out and work. By so doing, sustaining your life, creating a life, creating a standard of life, uplifting the lives of the people. That is the reason. Now, when you fail, when that intent, and by the way, in peace and security, internal, police, external, the armed forces, when the system fails that, when a leader fails that, when a president fails that, a prime minister fails that, they cancel themselves, and therefore you invoke sovereign authority, the power of the people, before the constitution. Who is there before the constitution? It is the people. And therefore, who created the constitution? It's a job description. When that job description and all the system that it creates fails to make sure that the environment is organized and arranged and empowered, so that the people can be empowered with skills through education, with health systems, infrastructure, everything that is there capable and a must to uplift the lives and the standard of life of people. When that system fails, you have the authority to change it. Now, the beauty is that Africa does not exist. There's no African constitution today. In other words, there's no description of a system for Africa together. The African Union does not have it. The African Union does not have a leader. In order for a new paradigm, for a transformation to take place, there needs to be a leader. Who is the leader? It's time for us to find that transformational leader and position them and support them. They come with an idea and a picture into the future and a power to make that possible. When we rally behind that leader, then we are able to respond. That leader is able to express the intents, the power, our agenda, insert our own agenda under our own rules, and react and control the disrespect, the condescension, dishonor of the African. Without that leader, there will be no transformation. There will be no paradigm, no new paradigm. There will be no disruption of the old system that doesn't serve your generation. This is the science. In order for you to create your own process by infusing, by invoking power of your own paradigm, if you don't do that, then you will stay where you are and Africa will be captured. Africa will be captured fully. And I pity the state of this coming generation. I pity the state of our children. If you don't realize that truth, that you are the sovereign authority, that you are the power, that you have the right to recreate, restructure, re-empower Africa. It takes a lot of time, it's complex. But now you have a manual, the Riot Act, the African Master Reset, and the Rapid Africa Plan, the tools for you to use. And you can start today rallying behind a process, uniting, moving away from our intelligence, and going back to a renaissance of brilliance, of basics of Africans. We're a united people. We're a cultural people. We're an honoring and honorable people. But we have to rally behind a leader. That's the science. That's how God created this. Who is the leader? Let's put a leader in the movement of the transformation of Africa, in this organization of the transformation of Africa. It's your time. It's your place. It's your turn. You have the right to insert your own paradigm. Insert your own paradigm. Insert your own paradigm.